Hi, Irina.
Hi, Joelle.
Hi. So this video is part of a series called The Importance of Having a Doula. And Irina and I are both doulas. She's at the beginning of her adventure as a doula, and I'm a post doula at this point in life, very excited to share the experiences. And today I really want to hear the story of Irina's pregnancy and birth, because I think a lot of women are going to resonate with this process. And yes, and so I'm going to let Irina tell her story. And I first want to ask a main question, which is how you went from fear, and what kind of fear did you have? Fear of what? Into, so from fear to trust, and what did you trust?
The main fear was the fear of pain, the fear of the unknown, and the fear that my body can't do this function naturally and I have to be in a hospital. For me, being in a hospital associates with an illness. If you're healthy, you don't go to the hospital. So I was in Los Angeles when I got pregnant, and my plan was to have an epidural because I just didn't want to deal with any pain. Like I was completely like numb myself. I don't want to deal with it. I just want the baby. And I ordered my first book online. It was called Gentle Birth. And it shifted my perspective on birth in general. And then I started reading other books. And it so happened that I moved to Hawaii when I was 1 month pregnant, to an area where most women give birth at home. And for me, that was shocking because I didn't know that this option is actually possible, that this exists. I knew nothing about birth. All I knew was that it's painful. Women don't talk about it. When I watched movies, um, women are screaming, everyone is rushing. So, like, something that I don't want to experience. Cut me out from it, just give me the baby. Cut me out of the pain and stress situation. So when I moved to Hawaii, I started meeting women that gave birth at home, and they were talking about their experience, and like their eyes would light up. They would be so happy to share their experience. One of them told me that labor was the most pleasant part of their whole pregnancy. That was shocking to me because labor is actually what I thought is the most painful and the most stressful part of pregnancy. So I met a woman that became my doula, and she showed me a lot of things that helped me prepare for a successful birth.
How did the
So
doula help you? Tell me a little bit about how a doula can help you, because that's the main thing about this series of videos. And most people that I get phone calls from, they call me when they are 8 months pregnant or about to give birth in 2 weeks, you know.
So the first thing she told me is that we need to start preparing. And she also told me that by the time I'm ready to give birth, I might not need her at my birth, which was very shocking to me because I was like, no, I need you. I want everyone. I'm afraid. And the very important thing that she did, she helped me realize the connection that we have to Mother Earth. She gave me an earth meditation to connect to Mother Earth's womb. And because I was living in Hawaii, and in Hawaii, you plant a seed in the evening. In the morning, you have the sprout. Like the earth is so alive there. Everything is birthing constantly. So it was very easy for me to like just feel the connection. I was swimming with dolphins. I was just swimming in the ocean, and the dolphins would come to me, and they feel when a woman is pregnant. So that was another beautiful experience. And I was open to any new ideas and any new people that came into my life. And a lot of people just shifted my perspective on birth. And then I started studying it, learning, reading books from midwives, explaining the process of birth in a medical way to understand it logically. And everything made so much sense. And then when I realized that when we make love, the energy is going up through the same organs. And when we give birth, the energy goes down through the same organs. And we are designed to experience pleasure in both processes. Because with every contractions, there's a release of oxytocin, and the oxytocin is the love hormone. So I started to get excited. I still had the fear, but the more the belly grew, the more trust I have. I realized that it's safe to give birth. It's safe to give birth at home if you have a healthy pregnancy and you are healthy, which I did. And my midwife confirmed I can do the home birth. And that's what I wanted. I just knew that I wanted to give birth at home. And after the baby was born, I realized that was actually him intuitively telling me that that's the way he wants to be born. Knowing his personality now, that's for sure what he wanted. I had friends in LA that have not very pleasant experiences giving birth in the hospitals, and also friends in Europe giving birth in the hospitals. And I had people in Hawaii, amazing women from Europe, from America, from everywhere that had positive experiences at home. So I compared, the negative and the cons and pros, and I just knew I wanted to give birth at home. And I had the plan B in case of an emergency, I would go to a hospital. That was conscious that, something can happen, yes. But yeah. I would like to, but the main birth plan was to give birth at home.
So how did that go?
It was like some people are like amazed by this, and I'm still amazed to say it. It was the most relaxed day of my life.
Oh, wow.
And this is the truth. I did so much preparation and so much like trusting my body and the meditations and praying and connecting to Mother Earth and seeing my midwife and knowing that I'm healthy and eating well and exercising. I prepared like someone would prepare for an exam. And I knew that I did my best. So if something goes wrong, it's not in my hands. Like, this is what has to happen. We'll go to the hospital. But I knew from my perspective, I would wake up at 5 a.m. I would meditate. I would cook, vegetarian, healthy food, like everything from scratch. Like, I did everything that was in my power. And I was also working. It's not that I had the time and I was like, no, I was working like 5-6 hours a day, but I made time for myself too.
Wonderful.
And it's I started to feel the contractions in the evening, and they felt so good. I just went to bed and I slept. I knew that I had to get rest before birth. So I was like, if I can sleep through the contractions, it's perfect. So I slept through the night. And in the morning, we were having breakfast with my partner, and I felt like, I just felt that I need to go on my hands and knees and do some movements because there was some intensity in my belly, which were the first contractions. So I would just go on my hands and knees. I would do some rounds, and then I would sit back at the table and I would eat my breakfast. So I would just do that. And then we called the midwife. She asked us to time the contractions. And then she arrived. By the time she arrived, the contractions were more close to each other. And for me personally, I felt better being by myself and feeling my body. When she was next to me talking, it kind of like my mind would go listening to her, and I would get out of my body. So she understood that, so she let me just be. And My partner filled up the bathtub. For some reason, I thought it was going to be long, because that's what the stories were. And I was like, oh, this is so light. I can do these contractions all day. I put the music, I was dancing. Um, I had my yoga ball. I went outside. I sat on the earth to
Mhm.
have like a physical connection to the earth.
Very important.
And then when I came inside, I was looking for the salt to put in the bathtub, in an inflatable tub. So when I did the squat, when I went down to look in the drawer to look for the salt, and when I did the squat, there was like an intense contraction, and
Mm.
I felt the urge to go in the bathtub.
Mm.
So I didn't have to push. All I did, I was breathing, and I knew that I am safe. I knew that my body knows what to do. And my active labor was about 2 hours, which I realized after I gave birth, because I thought I'm still in the first stages of labor, because I was expecting this excruciating pain. Like, where is this pain? I'm probably going to give birth the next day. And then I had like probably 3, 4 intense contractions that would like, I would close my eyes and they just got me out of this world. And then I would just come back.
Mm.
So it's like riding the waves, like a huge wave in the ocean, and it's facing you. So you just flow with it. And then the wave passes and you're
Mm.
back on Earth.
Mm.
And, and I didn't have to push. And with my last contraction, the baby came out.
Mm.
My partner was with me in the bathtub, because we told the midwife, well, it's going to take probably longer, so you can take a walk. So by the time she got back, the baby was delivered. My partner caught him in his hands in the water. And the first thing that came to me, I was flooded with energy. I felt that I could get up and dance and cook, and like I could do anything. And
Mm.
my first thought was, wow, that was it. I could give birth like this every day,
Mm. Mm.
because the amount of oxytocin that was flooding, and it wasn't an orgasmic birth. And I've watched the video about orgasmic birth. That's I really want to experience that with my next children. Like it was an ecstatic birth.
Mm.
It was something like it was so empowering. It was so I felt so worthy of being a woman and being offered this chance. And
Mm.
I knew I had to share it to other women. Like, this is something that was given to me, and I just have to share, because I'm a regular girl. I have no siblings. I knew nothing about birth. I had no experience with kids whatsoever until I gave birth. So
Mm.
there's nothing special about me. I'm just a regular girl that decided to
Mm.
open up to the possibility,
Mm.
and it happened. And I believe any woman can have a successful birth experience.
Yes.
We are designed like that,
Yes.
and we've been giving birth for eons. How
Ye-
many people we have on earth?
Yes.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, this wisdom has to come back, and women have to enjoy pregnancy and labor
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and postpartum.
Yeah. And I guess that's why you became a doula.
Yes, the calling was so big. When I took the doula course, I took my baby. I was still breastfeeding. He was about 2. I took my baby with me on Oahu, on the other island, and like I would leave him with his grandparents. I would go to the course, and I would come back, breastfeed. Like I couldn't wait.
Mm.
I had to take the course, although I was still so attached to the baby. It was.
Mm.
And I feel just for women to hear this story, it's already healing and clearing a lot. Because
Yes.
I heard similar stories when I was pregnant, and
Yes.
I believed them. I trusted that it's possible. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so Irina lives in Los Angeles, California. And if you want to get in touch with her, can they get in touch with you?
Yes, my website is called
Mhm.
birthfestival.com.
Okay, birthfestival.com. And so they can send you an email, ask you questions. And yes, so this is just the beginning, and we're going to be talking about the importance of having a doula even before conception. If you're not pregnant, but you're thinking about getting pregnant, we will also talk about that part of the story in another video, right? So,
Yes.
yes, and we are going to keep interviewing women that had successful stories. And also, we're going to do a video on the cell memories. Okay, I'm going to tell my story in the next video. So you have different aspects of the story and how that was my call to help other women in giving birth. Okay, so because everybody is different, everybody's different, and we are having nowadays support tools, different forms of therapy to help clear the cell memories and prepare you for the best possible birth. So thank you so much, Irina. This is such a beautiful, beautiful story, and we could talk about it for hours. I know you were in the water with the dolphins during the pregnancy, which I will talk about that too, and tell a little story because dolphins are amazing. And yes, but for now, we're gonna leave you with this beautiful story, and we will be back soon. Thank you, Irina.
Thank you, Joelle.
Bye.